When you figure out your type, you have this visceral feeling. Sometimes it can be an icky feeling. Sometimes it can be exhilarating, but either way, it's very moving. A lot of people weep because it feels like someone has read your inner diary and you finally have language for things you didn't quite, you weren't able to put into words.
Welcome to Sharing Passion and Purpose. I'm your host, Nancy Moore, and every week I bring you stories and conversations to help you build a passionate and purpose-filled life, one that's profitable and aligned with who you are. Let's get started. Hi, everybody. So this is a new format. I'm actually getting to record with my guests, so I am so thrilled to have Katie Ruley with me today. Welcome, Katie.
Thank you, Nancy. I'm so thrilled to be here.
Good. So you and I recorded about 5 years ago.
Maybe even 6.
It has been a minute.
Yeah.
You were at the very beginning of your journey, literally with your new company, which is EnLighten Enneagram. So she is the founder of EnLighten Enneagram. And at the time, did you even realize how much growth there would be over this time?
I had no idea.
I
couldn't have predicted it.
It's exciting.
It's so exciting.
So, okay. So just so people kind of understand, I'm saying Enneagram, I'm saying EnLighten Enneagram. Tell us a little bit about how you got connected with the Enneagram and then also why you decided to start coaching through EnLighten Enneagram.
So let's see. So let's go back to about 2018.
Okay.
And so you'll learn through our discussion probably that I'm a type 1, which is called the improver. So improvers like to do what? You can just guess. Improve.
Yes.
We like to improve ourselves, others, in the world. So I'm a mom of 4, married many, many years at that point, and I'm still very involved in my original field of psychology, just keeping my feet wet and staying on top of things. And so I'm listening to podcasts and kind of even before they were super popular and reading. And it was on a podcast I heard this word Enneagram, and it was actually kind of humbling because I did not know what it was. And that bothered me. I also like to feel capable and competent. And I thought, I got to figure out what this word is that they're raving about. So I start reading about it. I started with The Road Back to You, which is probably the most popular book. Highly recommend it to any listeners. It's a great primer to get an idea of what we're talking about. So I read it and I get absolutely drawn in, so curious. I couldn't quite figure everything out, which made me even more curious and excited to learn about it. So I keep learning. And I start to fall in love with it during the months of digging into it. So then I start working on family members, and it started helping me with them. And so let me back up and say the Enneagram is a motivation-based personality testing system and typing system. It's so different than all the other ones that we've probably heard of, Myers-Briggs, DISC, there's Strength Finders, there's so many. This one is different because it gets to our inner wiring. Therefore, when you figure out your type, you have this visceral feeling. Sometimes it can be an icky feeling, sometimes it can be exhilarating, but either way, it's very moving. A lot of people weep because it feels like someone has read your inner diary and you finally have language for things you didn't quite, you weren't able to put into words. So this starts going on and I start working with, I have 4 children, and at the time they were all around teenage age, and we start figuring out where they landed. And so my husband and I are starting to just engage this tool. And so because I loved it so much, I'm yapping about it with people. And fast forward to, I think it was literally March of 2020. And a gal on Instagram, a fitness instructor, DM'd me and said, "Hey, would you lead a Zoom conference for my group?" And I thought, oh, well, I don't like do this. I'm not a professional. And my daughter, who was home from college because they got kicked out because of COVID, she was my encourager. And she said, "Mom, you got to do this. You got to say yes." And I said the scary yes, and my life has never been the same.
I'm so glad. That you got that little bit of encouragement to say yes. But by then you were pretty knowledgeable. I mean, your background's in psychology, and you're pretty knowledgeable already about the Enneagram if you're having somebody reach out. So if you could share a little bit more about what the Enneagram helps with. So people kind of understand what it is, because many people, like, there are a lot of personality assessments, tests out there, but you specifically gravitated towards this one. And so why would it be beneficial for our guests or for, people to understand what type they are?
Yeah. So it's a standout. It's an amazing investment. Number one, it's the one system that your type does not change. I love that. Like my husband's a financial planner. We like good investments. So he's looking at money. I'm looking at emotional intelligence. Like, what are things, if we're going to improve ourselves, let's do things that matter and have long lasting capability. So once we know our type, so our type is simply, it's the why, it's your core fear and your core motivation. So we are not taught to pay attention to that. You know what we're taught to pay attention to? Behavior. So that's why testing for this can be complicated, because we're looking at the external, but the Enneagram it's going to help us get into the internal and the why behind the behavior. So we don't know how to look at that until someone like a coach like me can help you see that. And it's kind of like the Enneagram's a flashlight to show you, this is why this triggers you. This is why this is so important to you. And so it's so beneficial, not only as a wife, a mother, a friend, a sister, but you take this into the corporate world, it's incredible, because then you have these coworkers, you're not understanding why you're sitting in this meeting and you have these very different perspectives. It's because you're coming from different wiring. So it gets to the root and the inner core of people. It's a tool that it's an amazing tool.
Before we get back to the show, I want to take a minute to thank today's sponsors. Today's show is brought to you by 5 Star Painting of Tulsa. They painted the exterior of my home and I could not be happier. They're really my go-to painting company because they're engaged in every step of the process, from the paint consultation to the final follow-up, and they are meticulous with every detail, so you don't have to be. They're family-owned, insured, and members of the Tulsa Home Builders Association, and they combine top high-quality work with high-quality products. So when you have a painting project in the Tulsa area, 5 Star Painting is the one to call, and estimates are always free. Find them at 5starpainting.com/Tulsa. Connect with them today and you will be glad you did. So you've shared this before, so I feel like I'm not asking you something too personal, but you actually talked about this being so helpful for your family. So you mentioned at the beginning, you and your husband have 4 kids. And so I would like for you to kind of share why it's been so helpful for you as a parent, for you and Greg as parents, and then, how it's helped with navigating relationships, family dynamics can be hard.
I'm glad you asked that, because that's really why I'm sitting here. I was so passionate about it because I feel like it saved relationships within my own family. So I have boy, girl, boy, and there was one teenage daughter in particular I was really struggling connecting with. And as a one, my perspective on life was A plus B will equal C. I'm going to follow all the books and the proper things and what we should do, instead of trying to understand who my children were and then loving them for that. And I really thought, I thought I was doing the right thing and trying to create these 4 young people to be kind of best versions of Greg and I. And that's not a healthy way to do it. And I didn't know. I didn't know until the Enneagram. We have different perspectives. We have different wiring. I've got to learn to love them for who they are. And this tool, I honestly can't put into words. I don't know what would have happened without it. It's been so beneficial. My marriage is stronger than it's ever been. I'm in great relationship with all my children. It helps me get, I always say a better me is a better we. So you start with yourself. But then you want to move into the people you love and find out, how are they wired? What's important to them? What looks like love to them? And each of my 4 children had a different way that they would receive love. So I started being more specific to each of them instead of just the same, because ones like to be consistent. And it really opened, I tell people I went from very black and white personality to full of color. I see all different sides now.
And see that, I think that's so helpful when you are working or living with all these different personalities, so just in thinking about your situation and, the kids that you have, do they all know their type and then they understand like even how to work with each other, strengths, fears, weaknesses, all of that kind of stuff?
They do. Yes. So we have in our family of 6, my husband's a 3, which is the achiever. I'm a 1, which is the improver. And then we have 2 9s called the peacekeepers. And then we have a romantic individualist. That's a 4. And we round up, we call him our family finale, and he's an 8, which I call the protector, but a lot of literature call the challenger. So you can imagine parenting a strong personality. So they have learned about one another. So 3 of my 4 are in what's called the withdrawn stance. So they're not going to buck up against parents the way maybe the 4th one who's in the assertive stance would. And we all know that. We all know when we're sitting at Thanksgiving, my type 8's going to throw out a verbal bomb, and we're expecting it. It's coming. He's going to entertain us. He's going to keep things exciting and energetic. And so you start to realize, and then with Greg being a 3, they want to get things done. They're all about efficiency and goal setting. So he's like all 4 of the children's financial advisors, their coach. He's the one, you can do it. I got a text this morning before I came. I believe in you. You've got this. That's who he is. And I'm like the detail, like improver. I'm here like for also hopefully encouragement and loving them. And I'm here for any kind of like, and bettering themselves. And like, if they want to learn about a great book, they call mom.
Well, I'm glad that you described it as an investment, because part of what I talk to women about is investing in themselves. And there's a whole variety of ways to do that, but taking a little time to invest in themselves in a lot of different ways. And so if people figure out through your guidance or through other resources what their Enneagram is, that is making an investment in themselves. And I feel like their lifelong just knowing who they are a little bit better helps with their interactions, helps with all that. And why do you think women might be particularly interested in figuring out their Enneagram?
Well, I actually think most women, including myself years ago, are interested in fixing everyone else. Our go-to is we want to fix the husband. We want to fix the children, the mother-in-law, the boss. And so I think one of the first biggest and most challenging steps is we've got to go inside first. We've got to look inside, which is not always fun to do. And it's a lot of work and it's humbling, but it pays off. And we've talked previously about self-awareness does lead to freedom. It's so amazing to be able to have, when you're self-aware, you have this pause between something happening and your response time. And you have a decision. If you're aware of what's happening, you have this decision time, and it's life-changing. You don't say things you're going to regret. You know how to connect with different personalities. And so I would say I don't think that a lot of women that call me want to come and talk about someone else. And I have to break the news that we're going to have to start with you, because a better me is a better we.
Okay, that just hit home when you said, I can relate 100% to wanting to fix different people that I'm with. And so that, my gosh, I'm like, that was kind of like a light bulb moment right there for me.
Okay. I think that's the biggest challenge for women in particular. But even many male CEOs will call me, hey, I need you to come fix my team. I mean, I get that all the time. Hey, I've got 2 are super slow. They're not getting it done. They're not doing it the way I want. And I mean, it's tough, but I have to say, hey, we're going to meet all together. And we're going to reach each of you, because we're each a part of this.
So let me have you kind of explain who you work with, because I primarily just am focused on women. And so if you'd kind of share the people that you work with, and I know you have a heart for working with a certain group of people, and I do want to talk about that.
Yes,
so if you'd share a little about that.
Yeah, so going back to 2020, God just kept opening doors. I really don't know how it happened. I did create a little handmade website. It was pretty simple, but it worked. And so it started with, I would say, small groups, a lot of like girls' nights. And then it started moving into churches. And next thing you know, I had companies contacting me. So I've been everywhere from University of Oklahoma to Phillips 66, and which is great because my background was HR and my master's is human relations. So I actually studied organizational development. So I would tie this in together, and I actually felt pretty comfortable doing that. So it was really exciting to get back to my roots. So that's one side of it. But really, what really captures my heart is the one-on-one coaching I do. So I can meet with individuals or couples. And I've done lots of both. I particularly, because of the story you heard earlier, love to work with moms because we put so much pressure on ourselves and we just want to do a good job and we just want to love our people well. This tool it stands alone and how powerful it can be. Because honestly, I think the first step is learning to love who we are. And how can we love who we are if we don't truly understand who we are? A lot of people I'll ask in initial consultations, hey, tell me describe yourself in 3 words. And I would say at least 50% sit there and go, I don't know. I don't know. We need to know. We need to know who we are. How can we love who we are if we don't know who we are? And our children are seeing that. So you will grow in self-confidence.
Like you're saying, though, I feel like you and I are raised just similarly in that you want to put your best foot forward. You know, you're kind of expected to behave a certain way, raise kids in a certain way, and, you know, have them behave in a certain way. And so stripping all that back, I think people, younger people too, are a little more savvy and in tune with not having that hang over them or being worried about that necessarily.
Absolutely.
And so younger moms that you're working with, how are you able to connect with them, or what is kind of helping them move the needle in raising their kids?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think obviously mental health is talked about openly. They're hungry. I think it's valued to be more self-aware and to work on emotional well-being. So it's not embarrassing to say, I'm in coaching, I'm in therapy. It's actually an honor. You actually have to be of means to be able to go have therapy. And so I think that being valued, they're much more open to it, which is so wonderful. Because you're right, the stigma, I would say, in our Gen X, oh man, there was a stigma. It's a lot of shoulds. And then also we would judge parents by their kids' behavior. And so a lot of pressure. So I'm really excited to help the next generation have it go a little differently, more organically, and just open them up to loving their people in a way. This tool will help them to love them in a way they would probably not have been able to otherwise. They think they are, but you don't know what you don't know. And this is going to open up a whole new world.
Today's show is brought to you by Colonial Title. Colonial Title has been serving the Oklahoma real estate industry since 2004 with services including title, consulting, and legal. And 2 convenient locations, one in Tulsa and one in Owasso. So if you're buying a new home or refinancing and you're closing anywhere in the Tulsa or Owasso area, Colonial Title is the one to call. Find them today at colonialtitle.com or on Instagram at Colonial Title. Colonial Title, where the sky's the limit. Okay, so what would you say are some common myths or misconceptions that people have about the Enneagram?
Oh my gosh, so many. It makes me really sad when people they're very put off by the word, and particularly being a woman of faith, I get very upset when they say it's not Christian, that God wouldn't like this, and it's putting other things above him. That is absolutely not true. The way I would describe it is it's a tool. we don't want it to be an idol. It's like if you ever read like an amazing life-changing book, that was a tool for you. If you have found that journaling really helps you process your emotions, that's a tool for you. So it's similar to that. It's just a tool, but it's an outstanding tool. It's incredibly helpful. And as Suzanne Stabile, that is who I was taught under, I think in 2019 in Dallas. She's been teaching this tool for 37 years. She's called the Enneagram Godmother. And she's like, here's what I say about the Enneagram. It just works. And I would say, try it out. What do you have to lose? You have everything to gain. Don't be afraid of it. Pray about it. If you have, I really prayed long and hard. I didn't want to offend people who had these thoughts, and I care about what people think. And I just felt the green light all the way around. Because to me, if there is a tool that helps you love yourself and others better, then it's worth doing. And also, I feel like it opened up my faith walk to receive love in a whole new way. Not to be caught up in my faults, but to understand, oh, this is why that triggered me. Or we say you can't change what you can't name. Mm-hmm. And so there's just freedom in this. It really enhanced every part for me. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I can tell, and I know that you love what you're doing, that you have a passion for working with people. And so tell me a little bit more about that, like having your own business, working in what you're passionate about. How has that contributed to your overall quality of life, taking that step from your daughter encouraging you to say yes to 6 years down the road? Now here you are. It's fun that we had the podcast, early on, but how that has kind of helped you in your life.
Yeah. And I think now I can see it, now that it's been 6 years, you look back and you're like, wow. I've changed so many perspectives, especially I used to lead young moms at church, and I was probably more legalistic and maybe thinking, if you can stay home, you should stay home. I had a lot of thoughts like that, very traditional thoughts, because I grew up with a very traditional mother. And I've opened myself up to, no, we all have gifts. And God has created us to share those gifts, whether it's professionally, whether it's volunteering, but find something that you love to do and go and share it with the world. And I would say getting the chance, and I didn't see it coming, it was very surprising, for my 4 children to see that I had this whole different set of gifts. I don't know if they would have ever imagined me doing this, because I was the driver, the cook, all of those things in the home. And I think it's really important. I think it was J-Lo. I think it was J-Lo getting interviewed, and she's like, my children got to see a part of me, or they wouldn't know the whole side of me had I not been working. So this is a very important part of who I am. And I want them to know the whole me, because at some point they leave the nest, which all 4 of mine have as of this year. And I want them to know that I have gifts that I'm sharing. And I hope it inspires them to find the same, not the same field, but what sets their soul on fire, and go and say yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's been, I've noticed when I write my grateful journal every time, thank you for my work. Thank you. It's such a pleasure, and it's so fulfilling, and it's fulfilled a side of me I didn't even know needed filled, Yeah, I'm very grateful.
So you're one of the reasons why I'm thrilled to have video now, because I interviewed you when it was just audio. And I think people seeing you and hearing from you can actually understand the passion that you have for who you're helping and how you get to help and make an impact. And so anyway, I love having video now. It's so fun. Okay, so I'm doing something different that I am just trying out. So here we go, but it's rapid fire so people can get to know you a little bit more. So coffee or tea?
I'm going to say both. I start with coffee, and then I move into tea like in the afternoon.
Okay. Yeah. I love that. Morning routine you never skip.
Oh goodness, it is of utmost importance. I obviously coffee, but I also do some devotional time and then reading time. I spend some time because I don't sit still very well, but in the morning I'm able to sit for about an hour. And so it's kind of non-negotiable for me.
Oh, that's such an awesome way to start your day, too. That kind of sets your whole
Sets my whole
day up. I love that. Okay. If you were to have a theme song, what would it be?
Let's see. Probably, and this has been since college, I Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor. That stemmed from a hard breakup with my current husband of 30 years. And it moved into 4 children. I will survive. And now it is like, I would switch it to I will thrive.
Yeah.
Not just surviving, which I felt like for many years as a mom of 4 young children. I'm thriving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. There's hope. That phase is tough.
It's tough.
With little ones. And I had 2, you had 4, you had twice what I had, but I get that on the theme song. Okay. So one book that every entrepreneur should read.
Please listen to this recommendation. It's called Think Again by Carrie Nieuwhof. And I actually just recommended it in Sunday school on Sunday, actually 2 weeks ago, because we were talking about the 1 degree program. This book will teach you about your red, green, and yellow light time. So he's going to teach you, kind of like Enneagram, I'm going to teach you to pay attention to what you pay attention to. He's going to teach you to pay attention to your energy level, clarity level, and you're going to find where those moments are, and then you're going to covet them. And you're going to plan, okay, if I have yellow time, like 1 to 5, that's when I'm going to set meetings where I need to be on, but not like at my very best. Red light, that's going to be maybe TV time or maybe a slow walk. Green light, though, guys, covet it. You schedule all of your brain time, your hardest working time that you need clarity and energy. You're going to set it during that time. So it takes a couple weeks to figure this out for yourself. Mm-hmm. It's game changing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Think Again by Carrie Nieuwhof.
Okay. I've written that down. Mm-hmm. Okay. What's a dream you haven't pursued yet?
Yeah. I've always, since I was a little girl, wanted to write a book. And I've tossed around so many ideas. I've thought up titles. I've even got 3 fortune cookies, and I have them saved in my jewelry box that said, "You will write a book one day." And 3 is my lucky number. So I'm going to do it. I think hopefully soon. Like I said, I just got the 4th child out of the home. So I kind of wait for that inspiration and the go time, like the green light. Mm-hmm. And then I'll hit it because I'm ready. I'm ready, but it's like the time has to open up. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's coming.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And you've said it now. You've said it out loud.
It's out there.
It's out there. So people know. Yes. So yes. Okay. So what would you say following your passion means to you?
I would say you have to figure out what that is. So that word passion, again, if I were to sit down with women and say, what is your passion? I think the majority would say, I don't know.
The majority say, I don't know.
Yeah. And that makes me sad. And so what that makes me think is stay open, get out there and just try things. And then it starts to reveal itself. And I started to see by saying very scary yeses. I mean, those first yeses were scary. And you get some imposter syndrome. But then I remembered that quote, if not me, then who? Why not me? And just grow that self-confidence. And I think it grows as you say yes. And to remember that there is not failure, there's just feedback. And each time you do it, you're going to get a little more feedback. And I literally want to go back to my first workshops and apologize because I'm so much better now, but that's okay. I didn't charge much and it got me going. And I think we still had a good time. And it's important to stay open and say yes. And living in this has been so just absolutely fulfilling for me. And especially now that I have the children gone and I'm not defined by mom anymore. I'm me. Mm-hmm. And I really am living my best life. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, so my final question that has come from another podcast guest is just about you and what you have learned through your entrepreneurial journey. So if there was maybe something you learned early on and what you've kept or that knowledge, what has helped you with that knowledge even today?
Good question. So some of what I just said would relate that answer. And I would say I've learned that sharing stories is the best way to entice your audience. Don't just teach, because I'm such a teacher by nature, but share personal stories. Make it relatable. People care about personal stories, and it gets their attention. And I get feedback from different groups and clients. It's those stories and being vulnerable. So I would say those were the things that I think helped me have success, was not just being a good teacher, but it was being true to myself, authentic, and transparent.
God, those are good. Those are so good. Okay, so let people know how they can find you.
Okay, so my company's name is EnLighten Enneagram. My website's EnLightenEnneagram.com. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. You can text me. I'm open to that. So that number's on my website. And I love to meet people. I love to connect with people. Even if you just have a question, you don't want to work professionally, please reach out. I love to talk Enneagram.
I know you do.
Yeah.
And we're going to be, after this wraps,
Yes,
we're going to
we are.
actually be talking a little bit more about that.
Yes, we are.
Anyway, well, thank you so much.
It was a pleasure.
For your time. This has been awesome. I always love being with you, but then getting to share your gifts with my audience, because I want to connect amazing women with you, because you're so amazing. I want them to understand, why it's so beneficial. You have articulated that very well. It's a win-win. So for my audience to get to know you. So yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
It's been a joy.
Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. If this episode encouraged you, would you do 2 quick things? They would mean the world to me. Subscribe so you never miss an episode, and come join our free online community. It's an amazing group of women pursuing their passion and purpose and holding each other accountable. We would love to have you. The link is in the description. Until next time, lead with passion and grow with purpose.